Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. I have in this episode for you this morning. This is all about John McCain in this episode. URLs are in the description of the video for your convenience. And we'll make sure we have audio and we'll hop right into them. Hamster to catch up here. There it goes. Okay, the first one we have here is off of Breitbart.com. The hamster get this up on the screen for me. While I'm waiting for the hamster, I'll tell you, yesterday after I finished the news, I went in to have my breakfast, and in the midst of the feeding frenzy, I managed to bite the inside of my mouth, and it is so sore. So if I sound like I'm slurring my speech or something, my mouth is very, very sore. I've tried to put some stuff on it to numb it up a little bit, but I'm going to do my best to get the news out to you. So nip it on the Jack Daniels bottle. I'm just trying to get past this sore mouth that I got going on here. Okay, now the hamster's with us. The first one here is off Breitbart, and it says, McCain, I worry. Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press, Senator John McCain, Republican of Arizona, apologies to Arkansas, said he worries about President Donald Trump's contradictory statements and understanding of some issues. McCain said, I worry about statements which upset our friends at the time when the strains on the European Union are greater than they have been since any time since the end of the Civil War, unquote. He added, worry about the president's understanding of some of these issues and his contradictory articulations. The rollout of immigration reform was an example of a need for an orderly decision-making process in the White House, and that I think is probably what's plaguing them more than anything else right now. There are no words. There are no words. I mean, to bring back, I really do. Wow. The next article here is off of teaparty.org, and it says, John McCain, well, we had it and then we lost it, waiting for it to settle down now. Try this again. Reload her up here. Poor little hamster lost its mind. Well, for goodness sakes, little hamster. Don't know why he's having such a rough time with this one. Here we got John Treason scandal with Russians. We're under attack. Angry Patriot movement. It says, once again, the Russian comedian prankster Vladimir and Alexei Strovanov have humor to America, but by doing so, side of John McCain. The pranksters, pretending to be Ukrainian Prime Minister Demir, or whatever his name is, Grossman, I think I'll just call him Bubba for all intents and purposes, U.S. sanctions with Russia. McCain stated he would send a letter to Trump to urge him to send lethal weapons to Ukraine. So Michael Flynn has stepped down for responding to Russian question about sanctions, but McCain thinks it's okay to tell the Ukrainian prime minister that he disagrees with her president's actions and will be pushing for something different. McCain should have noticed by now that he was was not voted in as the president of the United States, and therefore does not have the authority to make any kind of promises to the Ukrainian government about weapons or anything else. And told the prankster, who he still thought was the Ukrainian prime minister, about Trump's position in regard to the sanctions, has no place revealing any card Trump has up his sleeve. He should have picked prime minister for his time, but told him that he would be better to direct his questions to President Trump. Disturbingly, this is not the first time these pranksters have tricked our politicians. Earlier this week, they also tricked Maxine Waters into thinking that a made-up country called Limpopo was being taken over by Russia. Waters then gave out confidential information to someone who wasn't even the prime minister of the Ukraine, and then tried to set up a meeting with the so-called leader of the country and continue the topic in their phone call. It's understandable that Waters could fall for it. She's been slipping up a lot lately. Could not remember the city of Aleppo in Syria, but stated that Putin, the Russian president, invaded Korea instead of Crimea, a peninsula that used to belong to the Ukraine but now belongs to Russia. Why is it not surprising politicians that their leader of another country is calling them personally? Do they routinely take calls from foreign heads of state, or are they so self-absorbed that it makes sense to a leader that a leader would call them? Also, does someone just have to speak with a Slavic accent for these people to believe that they've been called by an official? I'll keep you informed as I hear of the decisions being made by the White House. As you know, there's a great deal of confusion now, but we will continue to advocate, including our Senate leader, Senator McConnell, for maintaining sanctions and increasing sanctions, McCain stated in the call. That statement also undermines the state of Trump's administration, hinting at chaos, when we know that, when we know that not to be true. Obviously, our politicians need to have some type of intelligent officials helping them in receiving phone calls, because this is ridiculous. They need to go back and get retrained on security information. I'm just curious as to the screening process our politicians are using to verify who is on the other end of the phone. These pranksters are not only exposing traitorous politicians in our government, but also a massive security flat that needs to be fixed as soon as possible. More. Wow. I mean, we're not talking about a bunch of kids here. We're talking about elected officials in office for a long time. They know better than this. And if they don't know better than this, then they're going to be brought up on treason charges, as far as I'm concerned. It is ridiculous. Next one here is off of Breitbart. I can't make this stuff up. I'll swear. Next one here, McCain. Trump's attacks on the press are how dictators get started. I'd make him think, dictator. I started erecting a gallows out in the White House lawn. Let me get this up here and I'll read this to you. NBC's Meet the Press. While discussing President Donald Trump's attacks on the press, Senator John McCain, Republican of Arizona, said that was how dictators get started. McCain said, I hate the press. I hate you especially. But the fact is, we need you. We need the free press. We must have it. It's vital. I'm very serious now. If you want to preserve democracy as we know it, you have to have free and many times adversarial press. And without it, I'm afraid that we would lose so much of our individual liberties over time. That's how dictators get started. They get started by suppressing free press. In other words, a consolidation of power. When you look at history, the first thing that dictators do is shut down the press. And I'm not saying that President Trump is trying to be a dictator. I'm just saying we need to learn the lessons of history. That Mr. McCain needs to get a grip on reality. We're not asking for the press to dismantle. We're asking them to stop lying. Stop spreading all this fictitious garbage that they have been drumming up. Goodness sakes almighty, look at 9/11. Look at all the peddling that they've been doing. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Well, I think we have something to discuss when we get to the end of the week, when it gets to be the week in review now, don't we? This is all I have for you in this episode, but there's more to come. So if you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up and share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the news. You might try that, and that way you'll stay informed. I'll see you in the next one.